Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Urban Queen and this is Urban Queen TV. Today I'm going to do a small batch canning, pressure canning with my Presto pressure canner. That's a weighted gauge with some black eyed peas. I had them soaking overnight. According to the ball cannon book and the USDA for complete home canning, if you wanted to quick soak, you would soak those in boiling water, put them on a pot for 2 minutes of boiling, and let it sit for an hour, and then you will start your canning process. But being that I let mine soak overnight, I didn't have to do the quick soak. I wanted to do the full soak. So I'm going to get to it. So I wanted to show you too. I'm following my Presto canning book on page 70. Oppression canning dry beans. Then I'm canning. These was dried and I soaked them. I'm using pint jars. Pint jars. This is not hot pack. This is room temperature, which they would call raw pack and cold pack. My canner is cold. My beans is cold. It was in the refrigerator. My jar's been sterilized. I've been sterilized my pot, my jars, and I have cold water, just tap water. I'm soaking my lids, according to Ball and the USDA for complete home canning. You don't have to soak your lids anymore, nor do you have to sterilize your jars if you're pressurizing over 10 minutes. I prefer to continue to do it the original way. Soak my lids, wash my jars thoroughly, and sterilize it. I wanted to show you some of these beans that when I was sorting them, what you don't want to can. You have all sorts of beans and cracked beans. You don't want to have these. You don't want to have these in your canner. You don't want cracked beans, starting off cracked beans. Now, if they're cracked when you're soaking them, that's fine. You don't want this in your jar. I just kept these to the side so I can show you what you don't want to can. And they might have some stones or pebbles in them. You don't want to. You want to make sure you clean your dry beans. So I'm going to get to it. Oh, it's always something. I have to get my 1 inch. You want 1 cup. Measuring cup. And I need my salt. I'm not gonna put any seasoning in it. I'm just gonna put pink Himalayan sea salt. Excuse the shaking of the camera. It's using pink salt. You don't have to add salt. That's optional. And you wanna have a cup, measuring cup. So, trying to get it. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon, and I'm using 1 cup. This is a 1/2 teaspoon, right? No, this is 1 teaspoon. I want a 1/2 teaspoon. You could use a half or a quarter. I don't want too much salt in my beans, so I'm going for the lesser, because you're going to season your beans anyway when you're cooking, so don't have to put that much. Okay, half a teaspoon. I'm going to put the salt in the jars right away so I won't forget. It's half a teaspoon. You know, pressure canning is part of my preps. It's part of preparing. With these prices for food, I decided years ago that I want to preserve my own food. Now, I have only 1 pound of beans that I'm using, so I'm going to start off with just 4 jars right now. I always have extra jars just in case, prepared just in case. So let's get to it. You need your funnel, your debubbler, and your magnets. Now, when I bought this set, came in a 6 in a set. Now you may buy your canning jar set, your canning set, and it may not have your magnet, because they say you don't have to sterilize your lids anymore, but I have it. So I'm gonna fill a couple of these in front of you, and then the rest I'm gonna come back and finish filling up. Gotta fill up to 1 inch headspace. Well, what I do, because I want the water to get through all the beans, I don't go exactly all the way up to the 1 inch. I leave a little bit under the 1 inch. It's only a small batch canning, y'all. This is my first time canning black eyed beans. I've canned red beans, kidney beans, lima beans, cow peas, but I haven't canned any black eyed peas. So this is, you're seeing me can them for the first time. I'm excited. I love cooking and I love canning. Knowing that I'm doing this. I know what's going in to my canning jar. I don't think I'm going to have a whole, maybe just 4, which is fine. Just fine. Yes. Oh, that was quick. So we can carry on. As I said before, I don't want mine. It's supposed to be up to 1 inch headspace. A 1 inch is up to this rim. This is 1 inch, a half inch, and a quarter inch. But I want it to be a little bit under the 1 inch, because I want the water to flow through it. So this one is not full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to even them all out. This is what I do. I don't want it to have no water in the jar. You know, when you buy your canning, buy your beans, if you buy beans from the store, and you open it up and it has very little, it's like thick. I don't want my beans to be like that. That's why I don't put them all the way up to an inch headspace. I'm adding the water. One inch. My water is going to 1 inch. As you see, it's pushed up bubbles already. But I don't like that, so I will be pouring that out just to get that extra water bubbles out. That's air in the jar as I'm bubbling it. It's pushing it up already. I'm still debubble. Oh, I always keep notes of what I'm doing. Today's date, what I'm canning, and the process that I'm going to follow. This is what I do. I have an app on my phone because I record on my phone, so being that I'm recording, I can't use the app. So I write it down. See, I still see the bubbles. I'm gonna make sure I don't like that on the top of my jars. It's cleaned and it's sterilized, so I feel confident that there's nothing wrong. Just I don't like the bubbles sitting up there on the top. As I watched it as I fill the jars with water, the bubbles start to come up, start to push the air up. This is regular tap water, by the way. Okay. Okay. What? Okay. It's a little bit under the 1 inch head mark, so I have to add more water. Has that water that I'm going to make sure I get that bubbles. I don't like bubbles in my, I wanted to show you that too. I'll refill it. That's all this air that's in the jar. Real life, no editing. I don't like to see that bubbles. I know that it came up. So I'm making sure it's not there. Okay, 1 inch headspace. Oh, take this out too. See some of the skin? I don't want that. You don't want to can that either. So I'll take it out. So this one is up to 1 inch already. I don't have to fill that one. And this one, I want to refill it. Okay, it's 4 pints. 4 pints of black-eyed peas. We're going to can these for 75 minutes for pints. 75 minutes for pints. 90 minutes if you was canning for quarts. Same amount of time as if you was canning meat. Debubbling making sure the bubbles is out. Well, if you have bubbles, when they come up, it can possibly cause your seals to fail. Making sure I got 1 inch headspace. Okay. I have to get my vinegar. Gonna be using some white vinegar, distilled vinegar, to clean the rims. You wanna check your rims. Make sure you don't feel no nicks or cracks. When you're washing, you also have time to fill it, and check for any nicks or cracks. Put your jars up to a bright light, and you can look and see if any bubbles or nicks or cracks in the jars. You don't want to use those jars. It would burst in your canning during the canning process, so you don't want to do that. Okay. Get my bands or lids, whichever one they call them. I like to have the ball facing the ball. You don't have to do all that. That's just me. I like it orderly when I'm looking at it on the shelf. Only 4 jars. I got the can. It's okay. It's just a small batch that I wanted to show you on this video. My bands. These are called bands or rings. You want to see when you get to start turning, that's it. Or you just a tiny bit more. You don't want to crank down like you trying to lock it. Just want to hold the lids down. See how you just turn, and then you could turn. That's it. That's all you want. See, you can see it's still loose. That's it. Till it doesn't come off anymore. That's why I hold down. People don't do that. I like to do it like that so I can see. And then just a little tiny, just using my fingers, using my 2 fingers. 2 fingers, hold down. See, that's it. And I'm just gonna, just a little more. Okay. Now, I'm gonna turn on my stove. This is my 16-quart Presto pressure canner. Excuse the rocking of my pot. I have 3 inches of water. My canner requires 3 inches of water. Let me let you see. It requires 3 inches of water or 3 quarts of water. Now, what I've done right here, you see a little black mark. That's the water line. Now, I like to put a little bit over it just in case, but it has a little too much, so I'm going to take it out. See this black line? That's my water line. I put a marker there on the line so I won't have to keep straining every time I can. I can see exactly where my water line is. So being that now I have a little too much because I added the water off camera, I'm going to take some out so it can, 3 inches of water. Okay, I like to leave it just a little bit. What's this? Oh, because that came out of I was using. That's it. So now I'm going to add The pot is cold. Got cold pot, cold water, room temperature water. It's cold water. The jars are cold. The contents in the jar is cold. The water that I filled it in and debubbled is cold. If you're going to hot pack, pot has to be hot, water has to be hot, and contents has to be warmed up. So now I have 4 pint jars. We're going to can this for 75 minutes. I'm going to add my lid. But before I add my lid, we have to check. We have to check to make sure that is the vent you can see through. So I'm going to look through. Everything's fine. I can see straight through. I can see light. The lid lock is on. It's not loose. I want to make sure I check it. Make sure it's not loose. Pressure gauge. This is your emergency vent. If it goes over pressure, this will burst. It's a security mechanism to keep the canning pots from exploding. A long time ago, they didn't have these. This is why it's so safe now. It's safer than when our grandparents did it. But you can't, with my 16-quart Presto pressure can, it has an arrow on the lid and an arrow on the handle. It has to match up. I purchased this a while ago from a sister by the name of World of Apollonia. That's her channel, YouTube channel. And around the Big C, a couple of years back, she purchased some and she thought that she canceled it, but they all came. So she was selling it on her channel, offering it up for sale on her channel. She bought it. So by me being a subscriber, I said, let me buy this one as a backup to my 23-quart Presto pressure canner. So now I'm going to seal it. It has to seal. Both of them is going to seal. Excuse the rocking. I'll rock. Sealed it. Make sure the pot is even. Make sure it's even on the fire. Yes. Now, this is a weighted gauge. This is not a dial gauge. This is a weighted gauge. I'm going to be using this. It comes with 3 parts. It has one solid part. This is 5 pounds of pressure. But when you add the second one, this is 10 pounds of pressure. If you add a third one, this would be 15. 5, 10, and 15. But at my altitude, you check your altitude, I only need 10. Now when you can go on what'smyaltitude.com, type in your zip code and your city, and it would tell you your altitude and you will know what pounds of pressure per inch you would need to, what weight you need to use. Now when this come up to pressure, this needs to come up to a steady stream of steam, forceful steady stream of steam. Once that happens, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and let it vent. It needs to push out all the air coming out this pot. It's just air. You see, it has a lot of air in it, so all the air has to be pushed out. Once the air comes out, and it's a steady, forceful, steady stream of steam. I'm going to put my timer for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, I'm going to put my weight on. And then once this start rocking, I'm going to set my timer for 75 minutes for my food that my black eyed peas that I'm canning. So, be back when it starts to vent. I just wanted to come back to let you see this steam that's coming up is not a consistent steam. If you can see, it's sputtering. Water is still spitting out of it. That's not consistent of a steady stream of steam. You want it to be much higher. Another thing that I wanted to show you. When I purchased my canning jars, this is what I found on one of the jars. You see that? And it's a brand new lid. Sometimes you have to be careful and observe. I put a mark here to let myself know I can't. Well, I know that I can't can with this. But I will use this to store goods in it. I wanted also to show you one of the canning books that I use when I'm canning is the Amish cookbook. This is what I'm referencing for beans. And I'm also referencing my manufacturer's book, the Presto book for beans. As you can see, it says black eyed beans. What is that? Yeah, this for black eyed peas. So I'm waiting for the lid lock to come up. As you can see, it's starting to sputter as well, and the pressure is starting to get stronger. It's starting to consist of a steady stream of steam. Once this come up, it's gonna get more forceful, because this is the only way the steam is gonna come out. I just do like this when it start to come up. This is normal. Don't think that this is not normal. The water's coming out. All that is air and pressure building up. Another thing with pressure, when you're pressure canning, you have to pressure can low acidic food. Low acidic food consists of shrimps, meat, low vegetables. You can, rabbit, beef, chicken, meat, pork. I don't eat pork, but those type of meat. Any meat, fish, any low acid food. You can, water bath can means you can use a stock pot and you can put your canning jars in it, and you can boil water. Have 1 to 2 inch of water over the canning jars, and once it gets up to a rolling boil, you start your timer. That's for high acidic food, like anything that's like tomatoes, fruits, high acidic vegetables. I just wanted to show you that. See, now it's becoming consistent with a steady stream of steam. It's getting there. Once this come up, sometimes it don't come up, but it's sputtering. You don't want the sputtering. Once it starts to come up forcefully, I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes and let it vent out. This is still sputtering. As you can see, it's not steady. See, that's not steady. You want it to be like forceful. Okay, When it becomes a steady stream of steam, I'll show you. Be back. Back. The lid lock is up. This canner cannot open right now. It's full of pressure. As you can see, it's a consistent steam. There's no sputtering, break-in in it. It's consistent. I'm going to set my timer for 10 minutes. It has to vent for 10 minutes. Once it vents for 10 minutes, I will put my weight on, my 10 pound weight. Once it starts to rock, I will start my timer again and start the canning process for 75 minutes. But this is all this canning process. We started our canning process. Okay, be back when the 10 pounds of pressure is up. I'm back. The timer has went off. About to put on my... Now once this start rocking, I will start my timer again for 75 minutes. That's 115 minutes. I'll be back when it start rocking. Okay. It starts to rock. I'm going to turn down my heat a little bit. And I'm going to set my timer for 1 hour and 15 minutes. That's 75 minutes. Once time is up, we will wait another 5 to 10 minutes just to let it settle. Not required, but it's best, so you won't have too much siphoning in your jars. Sometimes you get siphoning regardless. The siphoning comes from regulating your heat too much, or you have too much pressure. "75 minutes. See you when 75 minutes is up." Okay, this session's over. I'm turning off the clock. It's 8:03. We started around 6 something. Now we have to wait. Let me move back some. We have to wait for this to go down. Oh, let me turn off the fire. Turn off our pot. We have to wait for the lock to go down. Once the lock goes down, then I can remove the weight. Not before. This is still part of the canning process. We don't want to ruin everything we did. There's a thing, botulism. You want your canning process to go smoothly from beginning to end. We don't want our food to get any kind of botulism in it. So we're going to follow the process. Be back when it stops and the lid lock goes down. Yes, I'm back. It's now 8:33 p.m. As you see, I turned off the clock at 8:09, so it's about a half hour. I've been waiting. The lid lock went down. Now I'm going to remove. See, no steam. I normally will wait 5 to 10 minutes, but I am going to open it. We're going to open it. I'm going to got to turn it away from you guys. Away. You know when you're cooking, you turn it away. See how hot? You want no facials. Now I'm going to let it sit there. Let it sit there for 3 to 5 minutes. Be back. Then I will pull it out. Want to make sure there was no siphoning. Okay. I'm going to pull it off. I have a little siphoning, not much. See what's inside. You could go look. Little siphoning. You see, that's because some of the liquid came out of the jar during the process. See, it's still bubbling. Still hot, guys. This is still part of the process. We do not touch it. That's why. Do not touch it. See, it's hot. Still bubbling. If you saw which this was, just like, please. Like my channel. Click the like button. The thumbs up button. Subscribe. Share. Leave a comment. Let me know what you would like me to do. Give me some ideas. My name is Urban Queen. This is Urban Queen TV. Urban Queen 3034. You're giving you a canning session. I'll just say, like, share, subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. That will help my channel a whole lot. And let YouTube know that you liked, so they can share my content. Have peace, love in your heart. May the Most High bless you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for the subscribers, the 37 subscribers. Thank you for all the views. I want to say, have a blessed day. Prepare, prepare, prepare. You see how the prices are with the food prices are. All right. Shalom.